Perfect. Well, hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Liz Jones, the Blue Star Family's Operations Manager, and I'm super excited to have Katherine Clark here today from Vetforce to tell us about the Vetforce program that is also open to military spouses. A little bit about Katherine is she's a military spouse herself. She is also the former Blue Star Family's Salesforce Administrator, so it's kind of bringing her back home a little bit here. And then now she is the Vetforce Product Manager. If you have questions for Katherine during this webinar and you're joining us via Zoom, you can ask them with the question and answer box on the bottom, or you can ask them in the chat feature. Or if you're joining us via Facebook Live, put your questions in the comments and I'll bring them forward to Katherine at the end. So thank you for being here, Katherine. It's great
Thank you for having me. It's great to talk to you again, Liz. It was great working together, and yes, it feels like a homecoming being back here at Blue Star Families, and I really appreciate Blue Star Families having Vetforce on today to talk about our program. I'm going to go ahead and get started with just a very quick agenda. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself and how I get started with Vetforce. I'll explain the Vetforce program and do a quick overview of Salesforce and what the Salesforce Administrator career is. And then I'll actually log on to Vetforce and give you a demo. I'll show you what it looks like to go through the Vetforce program and what the training's like and how to sign up. And as Liz said, we'll do a quick Q&A at the end if you have any questions. So a little bit about me. I am a military spouse, as Liz said, a spouse of about 10 years now, which blows my mind a little bit. But as most military spouses know, the effect that PCSing has had on my career was just detrimental. And after multiple PCS moves and quitting jobs and struggling to find a new job at every duty station, I realized something has to change. I didn't have those extremely marketable skills that I needed to be able to just jump right into a great job and continue my career at every duty station. So about our third move or so, I become a stay-at-home mom with my first daughter, and I realized I need to get new skills. I didn't want to commit to, another degree. I had already had a degree. I didn't want to commit to another degree. I didn't want to pay thousands and thousands of dollars just to test out a career and test out to see if I liked something. I just needed to find something where I could gain marketable skills so I could have a great career while moving around that didn't cost money. I wouldn't have to put my daughter in daycare. And luckily I found Vetforce. It was about 3.5 years ago that I found Vetforce, and I signed up kind of leery because I thought, I don't know much about the tech industry. I don't know anything about software. I don't know anything about databases, but I thought this is free, it's virtual, and it's self-paced. I could do the training whenever worked for me, which was usually during my daughter's naps or, after she went to bed in the evening. And I was able to go through the training. And at first, right when I went through the training, I didn't really understand all of the terminology, but again, this was free and self-paced. So I just kept going. And after a while, it just all started to click. And I really loved it. I loved the support of the Vetforce community. I loved, everything about it, especially that it was free. And I wasn't taking, a lot of time and money away from my family to explore this new career. So anyway, after I finished my training, I sat for the certification exam, which Vetforce covers for free, and I passed. And then, as Liz said, I started working at Blue Star Families as their Salesforce Administrator. And recently, earlier this spring, I transitioned over to Salesforce to now be the Vetforce Product Manager. So now I get to be the Salesforce Administrator at Vetforce, which has been a full circle moment for me to be able to, deliver this life-changing program and benefits that I received now to fellow veterans, military spouses, and service members. So with all that being said, I'm going to skip to my next slide. This is just a quick overview of the Vetforce program. It's a free Salesforce training program exclusively for the military community. And when we say military community, we mean veterans, service members, National Guard, retirees, and their spouses. I will show you in a quick minute how we do the military verification, but once you register and are verified to be a part of the military community, you just jump right into learning. We use a program called Trailhead. It's run by Salesforce. Again, it's totally free, and that's how you learn your Salesforce skills. Once you complete the curriculum, you have the option of attending an in-person or virtual class. Those classes usually run about $4,500, and the class fee is waived for Vetforce members. And then once you either skip the class, since it's optional, or attend the class, you get the certification exam voucher. And you can take as much time you need to study, sit for your exam, and then become certified. And the certifications are globally recognized. You know, there are many, many certifications you can take. The most popular one is Salesforce Administrator, which I'm going to go into. But when you join the Vetforce program, you're not just getting training for free, you're also getting access to this amazing, vibrant community of Vetforce Trailblazers. That's what we call our Vetforce members. There's over 11,000 people who have signed up for this program, and everyone on the Vetforce community is extremely supportive. If you have a question, if you've reached a stumbling block, if you need somebody to study with, there are people there. There are people there from all over the world, and you know, everyone's just extremely supportive of one another. And although our main community is virtual, we also do some in-person events. Every year, Salesforce has a couple conferences like Dreamforce and Trailhead DX, and we're able to get some of our members together and do those in-person experiences as well, which are always amazing and life-changing for everyone who attends. And lastly, you know, what we really strive for is success. Finding your new dream job or getting promoted in your current one, and then reaching back and pulling along the people behind you. You've blazed a trail, and now you can reach back and help those who are starting to blaze their own trail. So I'm also going to share a quick video now that you've heard a little bit about myself and about the Vetforce program of some other Vetforce Trailblazers.
I joined the Army because on September 11th, I was very moved by the day.
I kind of felt that I had this purpose and commitment to be part of a bigger picture. I decided to become a 97 Bravo, which is a counterintelligence agent. What I thought was going to be a 20-year military career came to a screeching halt. It was terrible. I didn't know what to do.
The transition back was extremely difficult. I still struggle with survivor's guilt. Being on a four-man team, when you lose one person, you can't help but feel responsible.
I'd had a mild traumatic brain injury. My doctor said, I want you to learn new skills and a new language to help your brain get back into working full-time again. And that's when I came across Vetforce and Trailhead.
Right now I hold 9 Salesforce certifications. It's been very therapeutic. It's helped, honestly, to take my mind off a lot of stuff that I'd rather not think about.
Being a Trailblazer means I'm literally making my path as I go.
When I found out about the Vetforce community, I was really overjoyed. It's this sense of camaraderie, this sense of family that you can't really get unless you go back into the military.
I want to tell the world about how amazing this program is and how veterans can use it for themselves. Salesforce has changed how I look at what I do for a living. This is something that I can grow into something that as big as I want it to be.
Salesforce basically gave me the opportunity to become the developer that I never thought I would ever be able to become.
Salesforce gives me that opportunity to provide for my family, but still enjoy those moments that you can never get back.
I joined the Army because
So I know I had this question when I first found Vetforce. What is Salesforce? And if you are having that question, I'm going to answer it for you because it's not a silly question. I had the same exact question when I found Vetforce for the first time. So Salesforce is the #1 CRM, which is customer relationship management platform. And over 150,000 of the world's most innovative companies use Salesforce CRM to grow their business by strengthening their customer relationships. And as I say that, the second question comes to my mind that also came into my mind, which is, well, what's a CRM? What's customer relationship management? So I also have a quick video about what is a CRM and how some businesses use CRM to grow their relationships with their customers.
CRM is life. Yeah, it's a way to organize anything, really.
CRM is how you keep track of everything that you're doing with your customers.
CRM is a lot more than just a sales tool. It really is a communication device.
Every company that I've worked with uses their CRM very, very differently, and that's kind of the beauty of it.
To grow and to scale, you need standardization and you need process, and that's what a CRM gives me, and we're looking to grow quickly.
Salesforce as a CRM has helped us grow our business dramatically.
In the past, when we follow up with our customers, everything was very manual. Nothing was automated. And it was very hard to track where we left off with the customer.
Salesforce really allows us to keep closely in touch with our customers in a way that would be really difficult if we were just doing it with spreadsheets or emails. It's super fun.
But one reason why we actually chose Salesforce is because it's easy and it's flexible, and it'll change and grow with our processes.
It seems as intuitive to me as email.
We can have tasks and see where we left off with the customer.
You can see the entire life of that relationship.
I'm a big advocate for putting everything in Salesforce.
We use scoring and automation to help drill down. And that way sales can really focus on the clients or accounts that make the most sense for them.
If I can have my sales team out there selling, not doing reports for me, it is helping our overall efficiencies, which is helping our bottom line.
We're not in it by ourselves. We know that there's a huge ecosystem of partners that are going to help us become successful.
The Salesforce community is great. When I'm stuck or want to try something new with Salesforce, there's a lot of support out there. Trailhead, great training online.
Asana is just growing really, really fast, and CRM and Salesforce are the key for us to be able to scale.
Moving forward, I only see us adding more information into our CRM, keeping that really great record of everything that our customers are doing in one unified place.
CRM is the way in which we're able to treat our customers like family.
Like, I'm a big Salesforce nerd. My teammates make fun of me for it. I love it.
So Salesforce also calls ourselves the customer success platform because, you know, we have 150,000 and counting customers. All of those businesses are extremely different. They're all different sizes. They're all different industries. They come from all different parts of the world. And so their needs are all different. So they don't have to select just one software for each need. They have the entire Salesforce platform to choose between to meet their business needs. Now, because of the success of Salesforce and the success of our customers, there's just this tremendous need for Salesforce talent. And that's where Vetforce comes in. The Salesforce economy is creating millions and millions of jobs. It's estimated by the IDC that there'll be 3.3 million Salesforce-related jobs by 2022. And I love this stat. 2 of the top 10 jobs in 2017 were Salesforce specific, according to Indeed. Now, both of those 2 that Indeed named, the 2 of the top 10, are 2 careers that you can train on for free through Vetforce. So some of the career paths are Salesforce Administrator, Salesforce Developer, and then even some non-technical roles like Marketing Manager and Sales Manager. All of these roles use Salesforce in different ways. To be very clear, Vetforce is not training you to sell anything. We're training you how to administer the software for these companies and these organizations. And the top 2 jobs that I just mentioned, according to Indeed, are those first 2 you see: Salesforce Administrator, which is what I became through Vetforce, and Salesforce Developer, which is more code-based. So let's take a look at our most popular career path, which is Salesforce Administrator. Salesforce Administrator does not mean that you are coding anything. You don't have to learn any code. You're using the Salesforce Administrator motto of clicks, not code. You provide value to the business by automating complex business processes. You create reports and dashboards and train users. Because all of our customers are so different, your role as a Salesforce admin will be different at every single company that uses Salesforce. So somewhere like Amazon, who has a large customer base, probably has lots and lots of Salesforce admins working in one department, whereas somebody like Blue Star Families, a smaller nonprofit, probably has one, maybe two Salesforce admins on their team. So again, it runs the spectrum of our customers' needs. And then if you're more code interested, there's Salesforce Developer. And that is where you're using code to automate processes and create applications. And you can also receive this training for free through Vetforce. So you might be asking yourself, well, how do I start? This all sounds great. I'm interested. It's free. It's virtual. I would like to give it a try. So I'm going to do a quick overview, and then I will actually log into Vetforce to show you. The first thing you do is you go to salesforce.com/veterans. You fill out the registration form, and you instantly confirm your military affiliation through Troop ID. Then you'll select a career goal. So mine was Salesforce Administrator. And you will go through the curriculum on Trailhead at your own pace. And then once you finish your curriculum, you will have the option to sign up for an instructor-led class. Those are held in person and virtual, but again, it's optional. Some people choose to do the class. Some people do not have the time or interest in attending the class, and they decide to study on their own. And then once you're ready to take the exam, you instantly get your exam waiver voucher, and you can schedule the exam for whenever you want. And then after that, you find your dream job. And again, you continue receiving Vetforce benefits even after you accomplish your first goal or your first certification. Once you become an admin, if down the road you decide you want to become a developer or add a new certification like Sales Cloud Consultant, you are more than welcome to just continue building your career on Vetforce. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So when you go to the Vetforce site and you sign up, you'll see a registration form, and I've already filled it out with this person named Sergeant Pepper, and we're going to follow Sergeant Pepper's journey through Vetforce today. So I'm going to tell you about everything Sergeant Pepper will do on Vetforce. But the first thing he's going to do is he's going to fill out these registration fields, and he will click Verify with Troop ID. This is how we keep our community exclusive to the military community. Some of you maybe have heard about Troop ID, also known as ID Me. It's used by a lot of organizations and companies to verify identity, including military identity. So what's great is if you already have an account that you're verified as military affiliated, you can just sign in, and it will tell Vetforce, yes, this person's military affiliated. If you're a military spouse, this is where you can sign in with your spouse's account, and it will verify you through Vetforce. If you don't have an account yet, just sign up for an account. You will be, there we go. You'll be presented with a number of different ways to verify your military status. You do that all through ID Me, and ID Me takes care of that for Vetforce so that we don't, have to handle your DD-214 or any of your military records. You can do it instantly through Troop ID and then become a Vetforce member. So Sergeant Pepper has signed up, he has verified his military affiliation through Troop ID, and he sees this onboarding screen. The very first time he logs in, he's going to see this, and this just kind of gives him the lay of the land and explains what he's getting ready to see. So he sees here that Vetforce is proudly run by Salesforce employees who are part of the military community, which is true. I'm a military spouse, and 3 of my coworkers are veterans or currently serving in the Army National Guard. And this just explains what's going to happen. They'll earn badges, complete trails, earn credentials, access to those in-person networking events, and explore career opportunities. And here's the most important part of the onboarding journey, which is, what's your career goal? The vast majority of our members choose this middle one called Become Salesforce Certified, and this is the path that leads to become a Salesforce Administrator. So Sergeant Pepper has heard about becoming a Salesforce administrator and decides this is definitely the career path he wants to take. So he clicks on there and he sees the specialized skills that he'll learn during this training. And he also sees this time estimator. This estimator is for the amount of time that it'll take to do the curriculum. Everyone studies at their own pace and they may or may not decide to take the class. So those parts of the training program aren't included in this calculation, but at least just for the Trailhead module part of the curriculum, he's going to estimate that he has about 5 hours a week, and it will tell him it'll take about 2 weeks and 4 days. Sergeant Pepper also sees down here at the bottom these links about learning more about the Salesforce admin career and the ability to view the full curriculum. So he decides to do that. And he takes a look at the information about becoming a Salesforce admin and also is able to go through this day in the life of a Salesforce administrator just to make sure this is absolutely the career goal he wants to go with. And this is the link that I said that he could get a sneak peek at the Trailhead or the curriculum for this goal. Trailhead is a separate site from Vetforce. It's run by Salesforce. It's just a free training program, and that's where we host all of our curriculum. So he can scroll through these and click into them just to, find out more about the information and the curriculum, and again, just kind of get a sneak peek at some of the material. So he decided he's going to set this as his goal. He's going to fill out some information for his profile, and he's in Vetforce now. And you just have to do that the very first time you go into Vetforce. And also the very first time you'll see just this quick visual tour that explains what you're seeing. So this is the main part of his profile. It's going to show him his progress for his goal and any goals that he's already completed. He'll see this chatter snapshot, which I'll mention in just one moment, as well as the training. So he's ready to start his journey. And he's all set to go. So I will kind of go into a little bit more detail than the visual tour went into. This progress bar shows everything that Sergeant Pepper will need to do to complete his goal. The first thing is to start working on his Trailhead modules, and these are all listed over on the right-hand side. The second is as soon as he finishes all of the Trailhead modules for this goal, he will have that opportunity to sign up for the in-person class, or he can always decline the class. If you decline the class, you instantly get your certification voucher via email. If you decide to sign up for the class, be it in person or virtual, you get the certification exam voucher after the class is completed. And then he will sit for his exam, and then once he passes his exam, he will have completed his goal and become a Salesforce Certified Administrator. I mentioned the training. These are all of the training modules. I gave you that sneak peek on Trailhead about, all of the curriculum, and this just shows him what he still has remaining. And as he completes them, these will disappear and his progress bar will start to advance. So I mentioned this chatter snapshot. Chatter is Salesforce's way to communicate with each other. So this is where all of those Vetforce members live that I talked about. This is where you can find, all of the different groups. You can find all of the members to collaborate with them. And we also have the ability to message each other if, you want to send a message to someone, or if you want to create a study group. And so we're going to advance a little bit in Sergeant Pepper's story, and he's completed all of the training in his administrator goal. So all of those Trailhead modules you saw on the right-hand side, he's completed those whenever worked for him in the evenings after work or when his kids were asleep. And now he gets the opportunity to opt out of a class or proceed to class. So he wants to take a peek at what the classes look like. So he sees the classes, he sees all the dates, all the locations, he sees there's some virtual classes and some in-person classes. But Sergeant Pepper works full-time, so he's going to, at this time, opt out of the class. And you'll see that his progress bar has advanced. And now we're just waiting on Sergeant Pepper to start studying for his exam, which he's going to start doing. And he studied for his exam, and now he's officially a Salesforce Certified Administrator. So again, we kind of, jumped through his story a little bit. But what Sergeant Pepper really found helpful was those study groups. There's also groups about, career prep or location-based. There's one for, Central Florida. I'm located in Florida. So you can find groups and people to communicate with, and everyone's just so supportive and so helpful. We also have a large amount of resources. So if, you get stuck and you have a question, you can jump in here. And if you don't find the answer to your question, you can always just submit a ticket, and this just alerts our teammates and my team members that somebody has a question or they're stuck somewhere, and we jump in and we help out. But that is just a quick overview of the Vetforce platform and how you go through your journey on the Vetforce platform and how you become certified. So also I wanted to mention that Trailhead isn't just—
Thanks, Katherine.
Yeah, I was going to wrap up by just saying that, Vetforce also has these Trailhead modules, and Trailhead, although you can learn all those tech skills that I've talked about, they also have soft skills like how to interview for jobs or how to be a great manager. And we also have these 2 military-related Trailhead modules. One is military-friendly workplaces, and the other is military veteran recruitment strategy. These are great to share if you have somebody that that works in HR, or if you have a company that you would like to start, being interested in hiring veterans or people from the military community. These are great modules to share with them. And the link is over here on the side, or you can go to trailhead.com and just search military and you'll see those. We would love for you to join us. My journey through Vetforce changed my life. I've had 2 PCS moves in the last 3.5 years, and neither time did I have to quit my job because of a PCS. I prefer to work virtually, so those are the positions I looked for. And while there are plenty of virtual Salesforce admin positions, some are in person. It's all based upon the business and how they run their roles, and if they have any virtual. But what's great is it's transferable. The demand is so high for Salesforce talent that when you do PCS, there will be a job waiting for you. So if you're even just slightly interested, again, I didn't know if it was for me. I didn't know much about, databases or the tech industry, and I just jumped in and give it a try. So that's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you, if you're interested, to jump in and give it a try. If you know somebody else from the military community that might be interested, feel free to share, the Vetforce mission. And follow us on Twitter at Vetforce, and you're welcome to email us, or on our website we have a contact us form. And before I go, I just have a quick video I was going to show you that really talks about being a trailblazer.
I would define a trailblazer as somebody who is not afraid to do something new or something that hasn't been done before, and then create a path for others to follow.
Someone that's not afraid to learn, to try.
Wanting to always excel and do more with the tools that you've got, and exploring what the possibilities are, that eternal quest for knowledge.
You definitely have to have a passion, and you have to like being challenged, because technology is always evolving.
There's new technology coming every day. Now you have the ability to learn it very quickly.
You can go into Salesforce Trailhead and you can learn whatever you choose.
You don't have to know how to code to be able to build really smart, predictive apps.
I just love it. I love creating things, just seeing the impact of my work immediately.
I'm proud to be a trailblazer, because when I build something and it works, it is one of the best feelings.
I fell in love with Salesforce because it was such a great way to quickly and easily build functionality that made a huge difference in my users' lives.
They were all saying, oh man, this is awesome. This is very cool. You solved a huge problem that we were having.
That's a great feeling. Like, I can wake up every day and I'm like, I'm doing amazing work. I know I'm doing amazing work.
With every
every success comes more and more drive to keep learning more and growing and developing.
Magic is the community.
That's what just brings everything together.
It helps you kind of connect with other people who believe in doing good, believe in helping others,
and be part of an incredible community while doing that.
I love what I do. Yeah, I love what I do.
We get to blaze new trails.
I'm a trailblazer.
I'm a trailblazer.
I am a trailblazer.
So again, thank you so much, Liz. Thank you for everyone who has participated and who showed up today to learn more about our program. Feel free to reach out, sign up for Vetforce, and I can't wait to see you in the community.
All right, thanks, Catherine. We actually did have a few questions if you have a few minutes.
Yes.
All right, the first question is, spouses of veterans who recently separated from the military, can they also partake in Vetforce?
Absolutely, yes. Spouses, whether you are active duty or spouses active duty or retired or a veteran, you know, if you just validate your military status through ID.me, yeah, you're more than welcome to join our community.
Awesome. Another one is, will you get a free voucher or waiver if you choose to continue your training, I guess past the admin and then advance to developer?
Yes, we, really believe in helping the military community advance their goals in the tech community. So yes, once you complete that first goal, we are more than happy to continue supporting your further goals. And lots of people have gone through and gotten, many certifications and attended many classes through Vetforce.
Perfect. Another one is, will you have the ability to interact face-to-face in person with customers?
With customers? So I guess if you are working for a customer, yes, you could work in person at a customer. At our in-person events, whether they are hosted by Salesforce or hosted by the community, there's lots of customers there. That's a great way to meet people in the Salesforce ecosystem, meet other admins. Even if you're just thinking about becoming an admin, you can join the Salesforce user groups and just ask a lot of questions. People are so extremely friendly and just ready and willing to help people, blaze their own trail in the community. So yes, if you're even slightly interested in this career path, search Salesforce user groups and see if there's something in your area.
Awesome. Another question. I use Salesforce as a database for a previous job. Would you still recommend this? And could I maybe fast track the program?
I highly recommend if you already have some Salesforce knowledge. I think you'll hit the ground running with our program. What's great about our platform is that we use Salesforce to run Vetforce, so it's all automated. So as you work on those trailhead modules, the system will recognize and the system will sync with Vetforce, and they'll see like this person's completing their modules, and that's when the automatic class selection or voucher selection pops up. So you'll go through the program like anyone else, but you'll definitely have a head start because I didn't even know what CRM stood for when I started.
Yeah. Me too. I had no idea what a CRM was, or I didn't know that it was a certain platform that's used. Another one that came up quite a few times is, as far as like timing is concerned, how long does it take to go through the trailheads to become a certified administrator? Because I know there's different paths you can take.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll stick with the one that is pretty popular.
Yeah, Salesforce Administrator. I actually have the trail mix pulled up. Let me go back. And it gives you a time estimate. I don't know if you remember at the very beginning when I did the calculator and you can put how many hours. So this one is estimated to take 12 hours and 45 minutes, and everyone kind of goes through it at their own pace. So it might take you more, it might take you less, but that's just kind of the estimate of how long the trailhead portion. And then there's quite a bit of studying that you'll need to do for the exam, but for the trailhead portion, for Salesforce admin goal, 12 hours, 45 minutes.
Do you think that's pretty accurate?
I do. Salesforce will estimate how long each little section takes. So they don't just estimate the entire goal, they estimate even each unit. So it is pretty accurate. Again, it's hard to tell. Some of the portions of the training are hands-on. And so again, some people choose to, like pull up their study book next to the hands-on and do it really methodically. Some people just want to give it a go and see if they can figure it out the first time. So all of that's very subjective, but yeah, I would say that's a very accurate estimate.
Okay, so basically what I'm gathering, and I've kind of poked around a little bit in Vetforce, is that after you sign up, it's kind of at your own pace. There is no timeline that you have to complete it in. You don't have 5 weeks that you have to have it done with. If it takes you 6 months to do that excuse me, if it takes you 6 months to go through those trailheads, and that's how long it takes you. Does it cut you off at any point in time?
No, not at all. It's completely self-paced, and it's what drew me to the program. I didn't want to commit myself to a semester or 2 years, and I didn't even know if I would enjoy, the program, but I did. Luckily, I fell in love with it. But there is no time commitment. We do see some people, will post in the community like, hey, I was working on this and I got sidetracked, but now I'm back and I'm committed. And that happens, life happens, and we're ready to support you whenever you want to jump back in.
Awesome. And then are you given a sandbox version to practice and learn in the actual program?
That's a great question that some people on the call might not know. So Trailhead gives you your own version of Salesforce. And actually what's relatively new, I would say within like the last year, is you can create as many little versions of your Salesforce, what that person called Sandbox, as you wish. And it's just somewhere to play and test and try and break things and try and build things. And that's really how you learn and how you develop those skills. And it's how I studied too for the exam. I would go through my sandboxes, or my trailhead playgrounds is what they call it now, and I would just try and build stuff, and it's a great way to learn. So yes, to answer your question.
Awesome. So if you are going to be a Salesforce administrator and you finished your trailheads, you have your brand new shiny certification, what do you say like the average wait time, or for somebody who's looking to be a junior administrator? Are they hiring pretty rapidly for junior administrators? Not so much Salesforce in general, but being that you are out in the community and you see how Salesforce administrators work, what would you say is like?
It's a tough one and we have had this question before, and I don't want to skirt around the issue, but it's really true in that everyone is so different. When I went through the program, I didn't have any real business skills. I mean, I had a degree and I had worked in multiple companies, but I didn't have any experience with a database, or I didn't have military leadership experience of 12 years or anything like that on my resume. So everyone that comes into Vetforce is so diversified, and their experiences are so diversified, and they're located in so many different places. It is kind of hard to just put a time, on how long it'll take to get your first role. We've had somebody, Lauren Zolt, who got her very first job 6 weeks after she started Vetforce, which is mind-blowing. That's quite a record. It took me longer, and it takes people longer as well. It also depends, if you're a veteran and you're like willing to move anywhere, obviously that opens up your availability to so many more positions than other places. Some people find that doing short volunteer stints with nonprofits is really helpful to build their resume. Salesforce gives nonprofits Salesforce at an extreme discount. It's part of their giving model, and the nonprofits that have Salesforce sometimes can't afford to hire a full-time Salesforce admin, but they might need somebody to come in and make a few tweaks, or build a quick app. That's a great way to kind of build your skills. So what I did was how I found Blue Star Families was I went on LinkedIn and I typed in, military and Salesforce, and just tried to find that nonprofit that I wanted to work with. And I just reached out to them and I said, I'm going through the Vetforce program. This is the training I've done. Here's my certification. How can I help? And so I recommend that to people if they're looking for a way to get involved and get some experience on their resume while they're waiting for their first job.
Yeah, that's actually one of the questions that came up. Is it a good certification to have if you want to start a nonprofit? And I know that Blue Star Families is a nonprofit and we use Salesforce, and there are many nonprofits that use Salesforce.
Absolutely, especially if you're interested in using Salesforce as the platform for your nonprofit. Absolutely, it will give you that background knowledge on how to configure your system to meet your business needs or your nonprofit's needs.
Awesome. Thanks, Katherine. I know that we're getting a little close on time here. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
I say give it a try. It's what I did. I just jumped in. I gave it a try. There's a whole community of Vetforce Trailblazer just ready to help you and support you along in your journey. There's so many people who have been, gone through this program before you, and they're more than ready and willing to help you. Follow us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we hope to see you in the community.
Awesome. Thank you so much. There's all the contact information on your screen if you'd like to reach out to Katherine. She is the product manager for Vetforce. And if you'd like to reach out to me, Liz Jones, I'm at ljones@bluestarfam.org. And any questions that we didn't get to, please, I encourage you to email them to the vetforce@salesforce.com, and Katherine will be able to find you an answer. All right.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Blue Star Families. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.